Are you at a point where you've been doing the work, you've been growing, you've been taking action, but you still feel stuck? You've been developing yourself, but you still feel like you're not getting the results you want. The reason for that is that your nervous system is overwhelmed with the changes you want to make. You want all of these things, you have all of these ambitions, but your nervous system is not familiar with these things. And so it sees all of those new ambitions that you have, all of those goals that you have, as a threat because it's unfamiliar. The key is not to take big steps and have huge goals, but to take small steps towards your vision. Stop trying to skip ahead. Stop trying to get from level 1 to level 10. Most people get stuck because they're trying to go from broke to millionaire, from hating themselves to being completely vibrant and loving themselves, loving everyone around them, from not being able to talk to women to having a 10 out of 10 girlfriend, from completely sucking at something to being a master at it. People try to do these massive leaps because social media convinced them that you somehow have to aim high, you have to aim at the biggest thing that you can imagine. And while that is true in some way, you have to set small goals to get there. So have that big vision, have that big thing that you want to achieve, but then focus on that small step that's going to get you there. There's 100 different steps, 1,000 different steps that you're going to have to take to get there. So focus on that first step, focus on that one step. The reason most people get stuck in this and quit eventually is because their body gets so overwhelmed by their desires and by the things that they want to achieve. And they're not letting their nervous system get used to what they want. Why do you think lottery winners always go broke after like few years after they won the money? It's because their body and their mind wasn't used to that kind of money. They were still broke. They still saw themselves as someone that's broke. Their body was used to being broke and that energy that surrounds that. But once they got the money, that was a completely new experience. They went from 0 to 100. They didn't slowly build up that money. They didn't slowly build that attitude that it takes, the responsibility that it takes to handle that much money. And so they lost it all because it didn't fit who they were. Their body couldn't handle that. Their nervous system couldn't handle having that much money. And so they had to revert back unconsciously to the life that they had before, or even worse, because they have gone so far from who they actually are and from what their body is used to. So the key is to get your body used to a new reality, used to a new life, used to the life that you actually want to have before living it. So before actually having the things that you want, you have to get used to the things. If you get everything you want right now, then it would completely overwhelm you and you wouldn't be able to handle it. And eventually you lose it. Your nervous system would still view it as a threat because it's so far out there. It's so unfamiliar and it's perceived as dangerous. It's just a survival mechanism. Imagine you're trapped in solitary confinement for a year and then it let you out and you'd walk into the sun. Even though the sun objectively is good, sunlight is something positive, it's something healthy, it's something necessary. Even though that is the case, you'd be completely overwhelmed by the sun and it would feel bad. You would have to go back in. You would have to slowly, get used to it again. And that's the same thing with everything you want. That life that you want to live, this blissful experience of having everything you want, of being in complete abundance, of living exactly how you want to live, that is so bright. It's like the sun. You've been living in this darkness. You've been living in this limited version, this limited reality. So having all this abundance, having all this limitless potential right in front of you would completely overwhelm you. You couldn't take it. You couldn't handle it. So this is why we visualize, why we do all of this manifestation work, where we get our body used to a new reality. It's not some woo-woo. It's not some fluff that's there to make you feel good about yourself. The point is to calibrate your body and your mind to a new reality, a new self, where you see yourself as the person that already has what you want. So it's not about woo-woo fluff. I want to feel great. Everything is positive. This is like practical. This is science. You're calibrating your nervous system, your neural network to your desired reality. You're reprogramming yourself to naturally have what you want. And this is the step that most people miss because they hustle all the time. They try to do the external tweaks. They try to pick the perfect business model, do everything perfect. They end up burning out. They end up quitting because they can't handle the pressure, because they're not getting their body used to what they want. They're focusing too much on the external things and they're not changing their emotional state to what it needs to be. So ask yourself this: what is your emotional state that you find yourself in most of the time? So that's basically dominating your life. Because for most people, that is doubt, negativity, fear, all of these lower emotions that basically reaffirm and recreate the old life that they don't want to live anymore. The version of them that they want to overcome. They are constantly recreating and reaffirming that self-image and that reality. So be completely honest and reflect on this. Your emotional state and your energetic frequency, is it that of the future that you want to create? Or is it that of the past that you're trying to overcome? Most people, they're doing the visualizations, they're doing the meditations, they're doing all of this stuff like for a few minutes a day, but then the other like 15 hours that they're awake, they're spending worrying, they're spending doubting, they're spending feeding into this energy that's holding them back and that's reaffirming the version of them that's trapped, that's stuck, that's lacking, that's not abundant. And this is the key. You have to hold that high energy. You have to hold those high emotional states as if you already were living that blissful experience, that blissful life, that abundant life, that abundant reality that you want to create eventually. So you have to get into that emotional state as much as you can, even when it's not there yet. You have to claim it as if it was already yours. You have to stop asking and hoping and wanting, and you have to start choosing and living in that energy. This is not about being delusional and lying to yourself, but it's about actually rewiring your mind, actually focusing your attention on the things that you want and on the energy, the emotional state that you want to be dominant in your life, the emotional energy that you want to experience most, that matches the life that you want to have. So if you feel stuck, then reflect on that. Like, what is it that you're feeling most of the time? How are your emotional states? How is your frequency? Is it, if you're always negative, always doubting yourself, always in this low states, then that's exactly what's holding you back. So focus on shifting that. Focus on imagining yourself already being in that position that you want to be in, and matching that abundant feeling, that gratitude. Don't worry about getting everything perfect. You are already on this path. You've been on this path. Things have slowly been developing in your favor. So things are going slow for you to get you used to it, to get you used to this new life. Now it's just about managing your emotions, managing your states. So you stay more in this high energy, more in this state that you want to be in, and that matches your future. And the more you can do this, the faster you will get there. But don't worry about having negative emotions from time to time, about wanting things to be different. That's totally fine. It's just about not getting consumed by those emotions, not getting consumed by these negative thoughts, these negative states, and always putting yourself back in a positive state, in a desirable state, in a state that matches the reality that you want to create. You are on track. You're not failing. You're not stuck, even if it seems that way. God wants you exactly where you are right now. He's slowly shaping you into the person that you want to be. You've probably asked for a lot of things. You probably have all of these ambitious goals, this huge vision. And it takes a while to get you used to that. It takes a while to recalibrate your nervous system to actually be able to handle that reality. So don't worry about being stuck. You're not stuck. It's just taking some time for you to get there. God wants you exactly where you are right now. So focus on making small steps. Don't go too big. Don't overwhelm yourself too much. And don't put yourself into like this hustle life where you force yourself to do things because you think it's what's needed to be successful. Focus on the emotional state of your future and feel that as much as you can. So make small steps towards your goal. Make small steps to create the life that you want. If that's creating a business, if that's finding a different job, if that's traveling, whatever you think brings you closer to that goal, what you need to do to get that, to get freedom, to get the abundance, to get whatever you want. Make small steps towards that. So set very small goals, very small action steps that lead you towards that bigger goal. Action steps that first you can complete so they don't overwhelm you, they don't feel impossible to do, and secondly, they don't feel good. You're slightly uncomfortable, slightly out of your comfort zone. So you stay in this channel of not being overwhelmed, of not being bored, not being lazy, and stay in this area of slight discomfort. That's how you grow and that's how you build that life. But don't force yourself into something you hate. Don't force yourself into this rigid routine that people online told you have to follow. Do what you know is right. Do what feels right. And listen to that feeling. Listen to that inner knowingness. And stop following everything people say blindly. So this is the path. Focus on that. Focus on holding that feeling of your future, that feeling of the reality that you desire, and slowly take steps towards it. And that's how you slowly build that reality. But the most important thing is the emotional state, is the feeling that you create of that future, of that desired reality, and to hold that as much as you can. If this video helped you, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter in the description, write in the comments, maybe something that changed your mind in this video, maybe something that changed your perspective, or anything else that you want to share. And other than that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.